Selina MacKenzie.
TRE.
Lifestyle.
Welcome back to the Lifestyle Show. It's about 30 minutes past 2. Now, those of you that know me will know that I love horses, and if you're the same, then this interview will interest you. Becci Harvey runs HorseSense UK, which is an accredited equine assisted education business near Tunbridge Wells. To tell us all about it, please welcome Becci Harvey. Hi Becci, thanks for joining us today.
Hi Selina, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Now tell us about HorseSense UK, what do you actually do there?
What it is we're an equine assisted education business, which simply means that we use horses in part of the learning process. So we sort of do corporate workshops, development days, individual days for sort of people to come along, and we use horses in a very sort of grounding kind of way, where they actually are the teachers, and we sort of step back and facilitate, and we allow them to impart their knowledge and share their sort of basic instincts with people, and it's just a very empowering and a very special day, very memorable for people.
It is very empowering, and for people that do know about horses, you can have the most amazing relationship with them, and they do teach you an awful lot. I think you've just got to open your mind to it, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that horses are brilliant at is for being in the moment, and that's the feedback we often get from people when they come for one of our training days, is that it really reminds them to be in the present. And you have to remember that a horse doesn't have things like, you know, a mortgage or multiple work deadlines or, you know, screaming children or anything like that. They really do just exist for the moment, and it's crucial for their survival, actually. They're very much a prey animal, which means that they are predated on by other animals. And even though we tend to keep them in domesticated settings, they still very much have that instinct about paying attention and being aware. And you spend time around them, it really rubs off on you. You sort of get caught up in the way that they behave, and you find yourself paying attention and being aware as well.
Yeah, tell me about it. Now, how long has HorseSense been in operation for?
Well, we set up in 2010, but I mean, in reality, I've had horses all my life, and I grew up with horses. So anyone that knew me, you know, if they came over to spend some time with me, there'd be invariably a point at which I'd say, "Oh, I've got to go and get the horses in. Here's a horse. You lead it. You know, off we go. There we go. And tell them where to go." So from that point of view, I've been doing that for years and years and years. But it was 2010 that I sort of finally trained. And got myself accredited and set up the company and made it available sort of officially to other people.
So you pretty much turned your hobby into a business, I guess.
Yeah, well, I actually initially trained as a environmental biologist, and I went off and I had my career, and I did that sort of, you know, go out into the working world, and the horses sort of became like you say, a hobby, and I very much stayed connected to them. In fact, when I went to university, I made the decision to give up horses to go and get a degree, and the first thing I did when I came back was come back and spend a year working with horses just to sort of catch up on everything I'd missed out on. But yeah, it was further down the line really that I'd been sort of, because I'd grown up with horses and I'd had all the opportunities that comes with it, all the education that comes, you know, having to put them first, always having to be one step ahead, having to be very clear on your leadership, developing partnerships, relationships, learning to read body language. When I went out into the working world, I actually realised that I'd had a whole host of opportunities that other people were where they were becoming less ridden horses, but still perfectly usable, and they were still keen and they love a challenge. Sort of all kind of came together, and eventually I found there is actually an organisation that actually does train people up to use it in this way, and that was it. I was off.
Yeah, once in, you're never out of it, are you, really? Especially if you've been brought up with horses. I suppose it's a good way because, as you say, when you went to university, you had to stop with the horses because they take up so much time and you needed time to study. So I suppose for people that haven't got the time to have a horse or the money to get a horse, they could come to your place then and enjoy a horse just for a day. Is that how it works?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's really, really where I'm at, is that I have the facilities, I have the horses, they are keen to work, they adore people, and I want to share that with people. I want them to have that experience. I want them to have the same opportunities that I have on a daily basis, and I just get so excited about how transformational it is for people, and how people will come and, knowingly or not knowingly, they might have something that's bubbling away under the surface, and I will always get some kind of email or something afterwards saying, my gosh, that was a really excellent day, it really gave me clarity on something, I've moved forward and made decisions in this way, and and it really, all it is just taking yourself back to the things that are really important, back to sort of basic instincts, and just spending time in a beautiful environment, surrounded by nature, where it's very quiet, very peaceful, away from your stresses and strains, and just having fun, just letting sort of everything else go, and just having fun, and being very natural, and just playing, really, just being innocent and playing.
Yeah, and that would be a sort of a one-on-one. Do you do things for corporate clients, like with leadership and communication, that sort of thing?
Yeah, very much. I mean, the accreditation body, the European Association of Horse-Assisted Educators, is very much set up to work with corporate groups. And the benefit there is that obviously all the communication skills that you get from working with a non-verbal animal can translate very well into the workplace. Same again with the sort of team building. Horses naturally have a hierarchical structure. They naturally work team for their safety, and it's actually very, very similar to a corporate group, where you have your hierarchical structure, and then you have each person might have something that they particularly lead on, and it's about working as a coherent unit and bringing everyone together so that you've got a common objective, a common goal. And one of the big feedbacks that we get from corporate groups is that it's a great way to learn about the different members in the team. So you might have one persona in the workplace, but actually you take people out and you take them to something totally fresh, and all these qualities and dynamics will come out that perhaps don't show themselves in the workplace, and people can find that a really eye-opening exercise. They feel very much empowered to make new decisions and step forward in new ways. But you tend to get a lot of feedback from the group saying, gosh, well done, you did that really well. And we don't necessarily take time to stop and say that to one another, at work, but this is something so fresh and so new. It's very bonding for people.
Yeah, people get a bit sort of complacent when they're stuck in their own comfort zone, don't they?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we're really keen to do is sort of share with people about things like comfort zones, and give them the opportunity to step forward. And we had an example last year where someone came on a training day, and she really wasn't familiar with horses, and she decided this was something she wanted to do. And then there was a point where she really sort of stepped up and said, oh my gosh, this is my chance to step outside the comfort zone. And what happens is once you've done it once, physically, then that's it, your comfort zone's expanded, and you will continue to push it, because you do it once and it goes okay, you kind of set your parameters even bigger.
Now, you are a very busy lady, because not only are you a horsey person, but you're an environmental biologist, and you're also a Reiki master. Do you ever do Reiki on horses?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my horses, they ask for it all the time, particularly if anything's amiss for them. But it was something I grew up with, this sort of connection with animals. And I went sort of a period of retraining, and I've actually, I trained in a range of therapies, one of them being Reiki, and it's amazing when you stop and listen, the amount of communication that you get from them, and it's just really nice to give something back, particularly when they horses, it's very, very humbling to be around them. They give so much. Animals just give so much. So it's actually really lovely to give something back, but it's nice to support them and then able to ground them. I mean, I have to do my horses after we've done a training day, because invariably they shift things for people, and you can sometimes see them letting someone's stuff go. And so, yeah, it's really important for me to have that additional sort of facility to create things for them. But yeah, I've expanded to do it for other horses, because at the end of the day, they can't tell us what's wrong. So, it's really magical to be able to give something back.
Yeah, that's the problem with all animals, isn't it? They can't tell us, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's really where I came from, sort of learning the skills in the first place. And yeah, it's exciting. It's good fun.
It must be a very rewarding job. I've got 2 websites to give out for you. I've got all the W's HorseSenseUK.com, which is obviously the horse side, the equine side, and I've also put that on our Talk Radio Europe website. And the other one is all the W's MindDetoxTunbridgeWells.co.uk. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Excellent. Well, Becci, it's been amazing talking to you. Thank you very much for joining us today. That's Becci Harvey from HorseSense UK. Thank you for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye-bye.